Being able to empathize is important because everyone has feelings. If you don't hit people's feelings and people's feelings are hurt, it's hard to mend a relationship. So I think being able to understand how someone's feeling and how to empathize with them helps strengthen your relationships. So whether with students or with your peers, I think it's important to have empathy.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Berman, Director of Elementary Schools. Over the past 2 years, we have been celebrating and living our values through our standards of excellence in the work that we do each day. Our standards were created by staff, and they are collaboration, respect, consistency, innovation, empathy, and perseverance. Each month, we take the time to celebrate those employees that have been recognized by their peers for exemplifying this commitment to excellence. Let's take a look at what that work looks like this month.
I believe that empathy is just connecting with individuals and finding where they're at so we can find a common ground to find the solutions for anything that's happening in the kitchens, anything that's happening within the school, feeding children in general, and just being able to find that emotional language to connect with them. And whatever language they utilize is the right language, and we just need to find the right space for it. I think that we all spend a third of our life working in general. So we have to be passionate with each other and understand when somebody needs space, when we need space, how to utilize our language to make those connections and relationships with children, and understanding that any behavior is basically a communication. So if you're empathetic with what they're going through and just finding out what's going on, then that gives you that extra boost in relationship and having those connections with everybody.
When I think of the standard empathy, I think of Kyla. She continuously uses other people's perspective, other stakeholder perspectives, feelings, and thoughts when making decisions and implementing the food services department and services to our students. She's a new leader to our district over the last year and a half, and she's jumped in, again, seeing all perspectives and all ideas to make sure that we're providing a best-in-class service to our students and our staff.
I think that knowing that everyone's different, you kind of have to cater your lessons and your teaching styles differently to each student. So being able to kind of get into their shoes and see what makes them tick, I think is important. It's also important to know what's happening around them, because sometimes the education part comes second. We kind of have to hit the behaviors or the situations first so that we can get to the education.
I nominated Kyle because just the level of patience and compassion and understanding that he shows kids every day is really pretty cool to watch. When Kyle's teaching, he emulates a sense of calm that really is quite infectious, I think. He seems to intuitively understand what kids are feeling and is able to project his own sense of calm into them as he's teaching. So I don't think I've ever seen Kyle fazed by anything, really, regardless of what's going on around him, which is pretty incredible. Because Kyle works with some of our most highly impacted and most challenging students. And his ability to really balance fun and excitement with hitting those learning targets and providing those boundaries and that structure that those kids really desperately need in order to be the most successful students that they can be is really pretty cool. So I really actually quite admire Kyle, and I've worked with him I think for about 8 years now, and watching him teach and work with kids is really pretty amazing. So, and to his credit, all the kids really love him, so everybody wants to work with Mr. G.
Thank you for living this work, and thank you for taking the time to acknowledge your coworkers that are modeling this month's standard of excellence. Please take some time over the next month to consider how you can integrate these standards deeper into the work that you are doing every day. I'd also like to ask that you continue encouraging others when they exhibit the aligned work by nominating them via our SOE nomination form. Together, we are all striving towards continuous improvement and excellence. Thank you for being part of our team.